Etta Gudell was the most special woman in the world, and everybody here felt the same way. And I feel so special this evening to have everybody here, and it is almost like honoring her. This takes away some of the pain, and I just want to thank everybody for being here.
Well, I share that sentiment, and I too feel honored to be here looking at all these photographs and being reminded of our childhoods and all those good times that we had. I wish actually that Werner was here right now, because I think he would just completely be overwhelmed. She really was an inspiration in terms of like how to be when you grow up. I would call Etta, and it wouldn't take 2 minutes. I would say, "How are you doing?" or whatever. She never, ever, ever complained about anything, and would always turn the conversation around, and she would always be interested in what you were doing and what you thought, and she would just always spend a lot of time sharing how much she cared. So she was just selfless.
No, I remember Etta from when I was a little kid, and the house on Shepherd Avenue. I loved that house so much, you know.
And I remember, and Denise took some ice cubes and put in Ziggy's, put ice cubes and Ziggy's behind that.
But then I got older and I went to work for Miss Gudell. That's what they called you, Miss Gudell.
No, my mother, was she tough?
Oh, tough boss? I don't think she was that tough.
Every memory I have of Etta, she was always such a lady. Just a beautiful lady. She was always dressed so well and so well put together, and her beautiful jewelry and beautiful pins. She always had him. He was so affectionate and loving and sweet, and she always had good, positive things to say. The last time I saw Etta, she was in the hospital, and it was a wonderful visit because she had just been through a few days where she wasn't recognizing anyone, or she was sleeping all the time. That particular day, she opened her eyes when I was in her room, and she recognized me immediately, and we talked and we laughed, and she laughed, and she had that same laugh that she always had throughout all of the years that I had known her. On behalf of my father, Werner, I just want to say that I know he misses Etta greatly. He spoke to her every single day.
Never missed a night.
For, I don't know, years.
I used to speak to her every day.
Well, Denise, the photography is supposed to be beautiful, I hear.
It was just very special, and she was very special, and I loved her very much.
She was good to everybody. My mother, so after she met Etta, she said to me, "This is going to be a good marriage. It's going to be my third." I said, "Mom, how do you know?" She says, "I can tell by the woman's mother." So I said, "Well, why didn't you tell me this before when I married the other two?" She said, "Because you wouldn't have listened to me. Now you listen to me because it's good." That was Etta. She spread good all over. She was good to everybody. I never heard her knock anybody or talk about anybody.
She was so intelligent and so humble about it, and used that perception to bring out the best in everyone that she cared about. She was my mother's best friend. I know my mother, as you say, Werner misses her. Whenever my mother needed, she was there from the moment my mother walked off the boat. But Etta ran up to her on the boat, and I think it's one of the funniest things. She goes, "Oh, that must be her, that must be her." And my mother, with her attitude, was like, "And who are you?" And they adored each other. And
They were best friends.
And she never tried to change. If something wasn't, you know, she never went in with a preconception about how you should behave in a situation. She would listen to your point of view and make it and verify it to give you confidence in yourself.
And Howard was born, your parents came, and we became good friends, and we were on a honeymoon.
My mother was an extraordinary woman, and I think what I remember most about her, as I said at the funeral, she never let the facts interfere with her opinion. And when she made up her mind, that was it. You couldn't convince her, but she was very loyal. She was always a woman of wisdom, and she always had a saying that always fit the situation at hand, no matter what it was. And things like, it's better to have 1,000 friends than one enemy. And it's not where you start, it's not where you are in the middle, it's where you end up. And I wrote down many of these sayings, and it guides me still, these sayings. She was just an extraordinary, intelligent woman, very loyal. You could always count on her. And you could trust her. And Loretta and I, we miss her. She always wanted the family to be very, very close. She always told me every day, you have to keep in touch. She always mentioned Pnina and Miriam and Denise and Stephen and Lisa and Werner. And every time I would come, Howie, I wish you would call those people. You know, even in her passing, her wisdom stays with you. And you see how right she was.
I loved Etta very much. I thought she was a wonderful woman. I thought she was very kind, very warm, very articulate, very intelligent. It was always a pleasure to be with her. Always a pleasure to go over there. I remember as kids we went over to Shepherd Avenue. We had a lot of fun over there. We had some wonderful times there in that house. She was a wonderful person. As a matter of fact, we visited her about 1.5 years and we interviewed her. And it was amazing to listen to her recall things and how things were.
So they came to New York. Now, what are we going to do with Susan and Herman? Said we'll give them a job, and that was the biggest mistake in the world. That what we did.
She was a wonderful woman. I'm sorry that she's not with us, but she's with us in spirit. She'll always be with us in spirit.
Etta was a very dear friend, not only a cousin, but a dear friend. I spoke to her every week, and we had just a very nice relationship. And I used to take her for a little ride up in North Jersey alongside the Hudson, and she loved it. And everything was always very nice, and she talked about family, and we talked about Loretta, Michael, and Spencer. Last year, my sister came to visit. I called Etta and I said, would you like that Lori and I come up to see you? And she was absolutely delighted. And we came up there, and we had a lovely time with her, and I really miss her.
Etta was a very nice person. I liked Etta very much. She was a smart person, an intelligent person. I like to be in her company.
And bought ourselves fancy American clothes. We're all dressed up. Came to New York like big shots.
So
you know, big shots, $1,500 in the bank. We went looking for an agent to find us a spot. So the agent was impressed, you know, with our accent and the way we were dressed. You know.
My mother, Etta Gudell, was the most special woman in the world,